Hi guys, so it's my nighttime here. I just had a shower and I'm, feeling refreshed. I just wanted to quickly jump on here and I wanted to do a reading. Well, actually what I wanted to do was just talk. And then that kind of turned into I feel like I need to draw some cards for this. And then that turned into, I feel like this is for everyone though. So this reading is for people who at the moment, if you're struggling with kind of what to do with yourself in this world and what place and what things that you can really do. I don't know, I had a lot come up today around my need to, I was listening to the Plant Proof podcast and they were talking about, the way your eating patterns can actually, impact the environment and talking about climate change and all these different things. And I have one of my best friends is, she's started a conscious living website and she has all these massive goals to be plastic free and create all this sustainable conscious way of living, and it's just incredible. And my knowledge of it is really just not up to par, and I feel like I have a responsibility to do that. And also in myself though, I feel like I just need to be more aware. I need to be more conscious. Around the time of Black Lives Matter, and it's still happening now, and I've always believed in love and I've always believed in equality for everyone, and I don't ever differentiate people or discriminate, or I would never judge or shame or put people into a box based on their race or based on their color. But there's this subconscious bias and discrimination that just is in society, and it's something that I guess I was not aware of, and I guess I just assumed because I was okay that that just makes everything else okay. And it's such a naive way to live, but it's the way that it was for me. And I don't know, just around when everything was first kind of happening in social media, we had Blackout Tuesday, I really took some time off socials because I was feeling like I had to post. And then I was like, I don't want to come from a space of have to. I want to come from a space of... And so energetically, all I felt I could do was just sit in my room, hold my hands out, and just send unconditional love vibrationally out into the world. That's all I felt like I could do. And I really came off socials because I wasn't not wanting to see it. It wasn't about that. It was more so I just didn't know how and what I should be doing. And I guess there's guilt around that and shame around that, and I don't think that I had to speak out on it. I don't believe that anyone has to do anything, but I do believe that I have a responsibility in myself, and I'm feeling that for myself more so now that it's something that I want to know about. I, am in this field of light work, and I, have love for everyone, unconditional love. And I think that we need to shift within ourselves to vibrationally shift the rest of the world. And me living in a space of not knowing, or just when I can learn about things that doesn't sit right with me, I feel like it's my responsibility to know more, to do more, to be a part of change. I talk about wanting change, and I'm gonna sit back and not be a part of it. I'm gonna sit back and not, understand things, and that doesn't sit right with me. And that's not in alignment with my higher self, So I have been doing a lot of research now, and a lot of learning and listening and reading into climate change, environmental issues, sustainability issues, racial inequalities. A lot's come up as well around still for women. So a lot's been coming up around body shaming women, slut shaming women. I posted something on Instagram the other day about all work is work. And it included, sex work is work, and it included a whole bunch of other things as well. And that to me was really important. And then I saw a post tonight, and I put it on my Instagram story, and it said, sex is good, but have you ever fucked the system? And it just got me thinking that, like, the system needs to change. Like, there needs to be change. The old, the system, like the old paradigm, the old way of doing things, like, that has to shift, that has to change. People need to wake up. We need to be more aware. We need to be more educated. We need to really start not just saying what we believe in, we also need to start embodying that. And embodying that means educating ourselves, becoming aware of these things, not just, sweeping them under the rug. And I truly believe that now. And I feel like before I didn't, because I was coming from an energy standpoint of view where I was like, well, I'm just gonna hold space for people and send out love because that's, all that I can do. But it's not all that I can do. I can educate myself, and I can become aware, and I can become conscious of these things and bring them into my awareness. And, from that space, once they're there, like, who knows, like, what I can become a part of. To me, it's really limiting the realm of possibility that I can dive into if I'm aware and a part of change. Like, who knows what I can contribute from this space, So that was really cool. So what I want to do for this reading for tonight is I really just want to kind of like dive into, yes, what's going on with the world, but let me see if I can feel like what this question is, because you know what? We're just going to do this reading, and then whatever comes through is what comes through. This is a general reading, so obviously it may not resonate for everyone, but if it does, please comment or like this video, share it with your friends, share any messages that feel relevant to you, and like, please get yourselves educated and become aware. I think that's the biggest thing. All right, let's do this. Let's see what comes through. All right, universe, what do we as the collective need to know? So I'm just going to pull a card from the Starseed Oracle first. And then I'm going to do a few tarot cards as well. And then I'm going to close it off with some of my Archangel cards as well. So we have the Cosmic Heart. If you can see that. Can you change this lighting, honestly? You can see it there. So, devotion, potency. Make your life a moving prayer. Isn't that beautiful? Let's actually read exactly what they have for us with this. All right. When you surrender to a state of devotion, you find yourself flowing with all of life. You're being called to refocus your attention deep within, to the intelligence of your own heart, to bow with deep reverence to your inner temple, to live your life in devotion to this place, to make your life one big moving prayer. Perhaps you felt a bit off kilter lately, sensing that the potency of why you're doing things has gone a little watered down or weak. Perhaps you've forgotten what made you start doing them in the first place. If so, this is your call to take a moment and reconnect with the truth at the very center of your heart. To get back to the essence of what you are about, to devote your life to what you care most about, to turn your gaze deep, 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 deep. There are seasons for harvesting and seasons for sowing. Right now you're being called to plant your soul seeds and sing to them with deep devotion, to feed them with the sweet waters of your own soul, to lose yourself in the potency of what it is that most expands your heart, to live your life according to what makes you come alive rather than what everyone else thinks, to make your life one big moving prayer. That's beautiful. I think as well with like the relevance with like what we're talking about tonight, if you think about it in the sense of like, I've been feeling like I've been trying to dabble in a few things lately, and some things like felt amiss for me, and I feel like this is one of those things for me, and I feel like this will resonate for a lot of people as well, because either this has been a reoccurring theme for you, or maybe it's not something that you thought about when everything was happening, or when everything was at really the forefront of happening. And I feel like now more than ever, I'm really being called to pay attention to these things. So I really hope that this resonates for you guys too, because you're not alone in this, because I've been feeling the exact same way. So let's pull some cards for clarity. I'm just using the original tarot here. I like this deck. I like going old school, you know, like taking it back to the roots, doing all these things. It feels very like grounded. Like I don't even know if you can like hear it in my voice, like exactly how grounded I sound. And I feel as well. First card out is the Sun. You want to come out too. Just one more. So we have the Sun, the Two of Swords, and then the Ace of Wands. So talk about a new beginning, but like being on this like precipice of like change and something different. And then it's almost like where there's so much like resistance to it, but on both ends of the stick you have, you know, this like brightness, this shining, this glowing thing. Like you have the Sun there, you have opportunity, you have possibility, you have all of these things. And then on the other side of things you have the Ace of Wands, so that's a complete new beginning. And it's almost like, that's how I've been feeling as well, is that it's like this Two of Swords energy where it's like, I'm not going anywhere, I'm stuck in this space, like I can't choose where to go. But I think what we really need to focus on is really integrating them all together. So like we can still be, so I think is as well, it's like we need to give ourselves permission to still be a part of the change, but also knowing that it's okay to still go and live our life the way that we desire, and that it's okay to still want the things that we want. And I feel like there's this real like distance and this real sharpness and edge to like, it's kind of like we're protecting ourselves from doing either of those things, because it's easier to be in this place of like stuck, in the same sense that it was okay to be in this place of like, let's just ignore what's going on in the world, because if I ignore it then it's not real and then I don't have to do anything about it. But I feel like this is really calling on us to see like the bigger picture and to see the Sun, you know, look past the darkness and the Sun is there. You know, look past any insecurity, any hesitation, and then you have the Ace of Wands there, like you have new beginnings. This is like a whole new paradigm, a whole new chapter in the world that we've never experienced before, and it's happening and it's coming to us right now. And there's also a sense though that like we have the Cosmic Heart card that we pulled as well. So like make your life a living prayer, a moving prayer. So like we still get to live our life, to still live in abundance, to still have all those things that we desire. But we also need to know that it's okay to be a part of change and to also want great things in our life. Like we don't have to sacrifice one in order to have the other. We can have them both together. And I think that's the brilliance of it, is that be a part of the change that's coming in the world, but also know that like change starts in your micro world too, and it starts within you. And for anyone listening to this, I feel like I definitely needed to hear that for myself, because I know I've been feeling like I need to do more, I need to be more, like, and not knowing what that means, but feeling like that's what I had to be doing. So that's a really beautiful message. Let's grab a card from my angels. And last messages. Alright, so we have the 10 of Gabriel, the 9 of Gabriel, and then the Queen of Michael. So, ask your angels for helpful people to lighten your load. Working too many hours, trying too hard to please others. This is really a call of like, as much as we feel like this need for change and is like what we're trying to create as well, we also need to keep in mind the same things that I was talking about before. And that is that the change starts within us too. And we can't just use the outside world as an excuse to not do the work on the inside too, because change starts within as well. As important as it is to be a part of the change that's going on in the rest of the world, we still need to keep in mind that we're of service to no one if we're still not in alignment with ourselves and still not taking care of ourselves. So I feel like a lot of it is like, don't feel like you can't share the burden of this with people and that you can't talk about this with people, because I know I feel so much better being able to share this with you guys, because I've really struggled with this, and I don't think I ever really given voice and acknowledgement to how much this actually like bothered me about my own ignorance and my own lack of like responsibility to the rest of the world. So there's some fresh guilt coming up. Needs to be released. So there we go. Thank you for holding space for me to be able to come to that conclusion, but that's how I've been feeling too. And this is exactly why I wanted this reading, because even when I was thinking about coming on and I was like, I feel like this is not just me that's going through this. Like, there's no fucking way. This is too collective for it to just be me. Like, this is the other people. And I feel like the whole point of this is like to be like, I'm here with you, I hear you, I see you, and like, I totally hold space for you now too, because I get what you're going through, because I'm going through the same thing. The next card we had is the 9 of Gabriel. It's all about environmental activism. Stay determined and moving forward. Be prepared for any possibility. For me, this card is just more about living consciously. You know, environmental activism, 100%, because that's one of the facets of what I'm diving into personally. But I think it's more like being aware of and consciously living, making decisions and knowing that like by consciously choosing them for like the rest of the world. So like, you know, choosing to, you know, stop buying plastics and you take your water bottle instead, you know, and not using plastics and using containers instead, or, you know, substituting, you know, changing banks because your bank invests in fossil fuels. Like, it's a whole bunch of things that you could be doing, but I feel like we just need to make conscious decisions of, you know, we're not responsible for, you know, the rest of the world, but we are responsible with the way that we're living and the way that we leave a mark and a blueprint on this world. So I feel like if we can lessen the footprint of that in some sense, then I feel like that's us then contributing to the rest of the world. You know, that's us being a part of change too. The last card is the Queen of Michael. So you know exactly what to do. The benefit of experience. Yeah, so it's a time for career rather than relationships. I feel like though in career, especially with this card when they say it's career over relationships, I think it's more so that you need to think of it of like where you're putting your action in, where you're putting in the work. So like, what are you working on at the moment? I think it's always times to work on relationships, but I think we really need to like have a think about what else it is that we're working on with the rest of the world. Like, how are we contributing to this? How can we contribute to this? Like, how can I work towards the good of others? Like, how is that possible? So I think that's something really cool to kind of tune into and play with, and kind of like ask yourself those questions and try to do them without judgment and without shame. I understand that it can be difficult because I've done the exact same thing. But, you know, I'm here with you, and I completely understand and feel everything you're going through too. So I really hope that this has resonated with people on some level. Even if it hasn't, I appreciate you for holding space for me and being with me in this moment while I took on this journey of like bringing everything to the surface for me and then being able to release it, because it feels really good. So I was gonna say I'm gonna do a meditation. Probably not. I'm just gonna watch Friends again, but do something that I love, do something that makes me laugh, and then go to sleep. So I hope everyone has a good day, afternoon, night, whenever you decide this finds you, and take care.